I visited the border earlier this week, escorted by the Hungarian border police. It was a fascinating visit. Unfortunately, the security sensitivities of that region means I wasn't allowed to film or record much of what I saw. I certainly wasn't allowed to film the security videos I saw, the quite alarming videos which showed people streaming over the fence, huge aluminium ladders erected either side by the people smugglers who operate out of Serbia, and people were just streaming over the top, attempting to get into the country in dozens, in some cases in one attempt. In other videos I saw they'd cut holes in the fence and they'd attacked police. There was some quite violent attacks on police, including on a Hilux which was being driven by police. I'm not allowed to show you the footage of that Hilux being hit with bricks, rocks and iron bars, but I can show you the Hilux afterwards. So this is what happens to a Hilux when it comes in confrontation with a bunch of angry migrants, angry asylum seekers. This one took the brunt of rocks, stones thrown at it by people who came over the fence there and thought they'd take out their anger on the police. But they tell me it's still drivable. You've got to love the Hilux. At least it would have been drivable, I think, till they took the wheels off. So here we are at the border between Serbia and the EU. This is where Hungary has tried to keep the frontier safe and secure to stop the illegal migrants coming across. They're still coming across. Unbelievably, they still get over this fence using aluminium ladders, or they can cut through it, or they tunnel underneath 4 to 5 metres. But the Hungarians have got that covered with sensors on the fence, cameras. They're there in a flash. So the chances of anybody actually getting into here and then into the EU is pretty low. And for that great service that Hungary does to the rest of the European Union, they get fined €1 million a day. Go figure. No migrants really want to stop here in Hungary, where they have very strict border policies, strict working policies, and they don't give out welfare in huge dollops to visiting people from other countries. So they go north and they're heading through to Austria and Germany. Interestingly, although at the EU level, Hungary is regarded as something that's a pariah, and the EU is fining Hungary for not obeying its open borders policy, the Austrian police cooperate with the Hungarian police. They visit the southern border, they help out with security. And there's also strong cooperation from the Serbian police, who are just as interested as anybody in shutting down the gangs who organise these illegal people smuggling operations. There's more than 200 cameras spaced along the border, and I went to the control room where I saw those being monitored minute by minute by a team of police. They can zoom in. They got cameras on towers which could see 10 kilometres into Serbia, and they look across the border and just track any unusual activity. It's been a very quiet year, I'm told, just 200 or so attempts this year. These are people they've caught coming across the fence and stopped, as opposed to this time last year when there was, in some cases, up to 1,500 a day, quite a number. But Hungary's firm policy, they've stuck with it, they've persisted. If people come across, then they're just taken straight back to the border and returned to Serbia. And that's as it should be. You know, illegal migration is a scourge, as we found in Australia. It enriches criminal gangs, it puts the lives of asylum seekers themselves at risk. And it has no respect for the citizens of the country, who have every right to say, well, we are the taxpayers, we are the citizens, we will decide who comes to this country and the circumstances under which they come. So as an Australian, I feel a lot of sympathy for the Hungarians. I think they're doing the right policy. They're almost alone amongst Europe in policing that southern border to stop people coming across. Because once they get across into Hungary, you're within what's called the Schengen zone, and there are no border controls between here and other European countries. It's straight on to Germany, Holland, Sweden, wherever you like. At Hungary's stance, some criticise it, but it does seem to me a very strong policy in the right direction. And If only the Americans might come here, learn, and put in place the same policies on their southern borders, America might be a safer place and a happier place.